Okay, well, today we're looking at journal page 49, solving real-world rational equations. Solving real-world rational equations steps. Step 1, identify the important information. Step 2, complete the table. Step 3, write the equation. Step 4, solve the equation. Example 1, a save percentage on lacrosse is found by dividing the number of saves by the number of shots faced. A lacrosse goalie saved 5 of 16 shots. How many additional consecutive saves X must the goalie make to raise his percentage to 0.65? All right, step 1. Identify the important information. The goalie saved 5 shots. The goalie faced 16 shots. The goalie's current save percentage is 5 divided by 16, which is 0.31. Complete the table. So target percentage is 0.65. Shots faced would be 5 plus X. I'm sorry, shots saved would be 5 plus X. Shots faced would be 16 plus X. So your equation is 5 plus X divided by 16 plus X, which is equal to 0.65. Okay, go and finish up example number 1. All right, example 2. Jake can mulch a garden in 30 minutes. Together, Jake and Ross can mulch the same garden in 18 minutes. How much time t in minutes will it take Ross to mulch the garden when working alone? Write the equation to form Jake's rate times minutes worked plus Ross's rate times minutes worked equals 1. Step 1, identify the important information. Jake can mulch the garden in 30 minutes. Jake and Ross can mulch the same garden together in 18 minutes. So gardens mulch for Jake is 1. Mulch time is 30, so his rate is 1 divided by 30. Ross is going to 1 garden to mulch. His time we don't know is t, so his rate is 1 divided by t. So Jake's rate, which is 1 divided by 30, times minutes worked together is 18, plus Ross's rate is 1 divided by t, together is 18, equal to 1. So the equation is 18 divided by 30 plus 18 divided by t equals 1. Go and finish up example 2. Let's take a look at example 3. Okay, a new ice skating rink will be approximately rectangular in shape and will have an area of 13,601 square feet. Using the equation for the perimeter P, the skating rink in terms of its width W, and what are the dimensions of the skating rink if the perimeter is 540 feet? So identify the important information. The perimeter of the rink is 540. The area of the rink is 13,601. Now we know the area of a rectangle is length times width, and the perimeter is 2 times length plus 2 times width. So let's apply these numbers to these equations. So area, which is 13,601, is equal to length times width. Perimeter is 540, which equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. Now, we need to solve this first equation for either W or L and plug it into the second equation. So we have 13,601 equals length times width. I'm going to go ahead and solve for W, so I'm going to divide both sides by L. So this divides becomes 1. So we basically now have W equals, okay? So we're going to substitute that in for W. So we have 540 equals 2L plus 2 times 13,601 divided by L. Now, we only have one variable. Now we can solve, okay? What we need to do first is we need to multiply everything by the denominator, which is L. So that becomes 540 L equals 2L squared plus, we can go ahead and multiply that. Okay, so 2 times 13,601 is 27,202. Okay, so that's 27,202 L divided by L. Now, this divides becomes 1. So we have 540 L equals 2L squared plus 27,202. And let me double check that number. Yep. All right. So now we need to subtract 540L from both sides. So that becomes 0. You get 0 equals 2L squared minus 540L plus 27,202. Those numbers are big, but I notice they're all divisible by 2, so we're going to divide everything by 2. So that, bring our work up here. Okay. So 0 equals, that divides, it becomes 1. So that's L squared minus 540 divided by 2 is 270. So minus 270 L plus 13,601. Now, we could factor this, but honestly, I think using the quadratic formula would work the best. So we know L equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. So let's plug the numbers in. So L equals negative 270 plus or minus the square root of negative 270 squared minus 4 times 1 times 13,601 divided by 2 times 1. Now, this becomes positive, so let's go ahead and plug that into our calculator. So we'll start by divide. So 270 plus, let's get this out of the way, square root of negative 270 squared minus 4 times 1 times 13,601 divided by 2 times 1. Okay. So we have one dimension. So the length is 203. Okay. And then all we have to do is change the plus to a minus and 67. So width is 67. So the skating rink's dimensions are 203 by 67. All right, go ahead and finish up example 3. All right, example 4. A riverboat travels at an average of 14 kilometers per hour in still water. The riverboat travels 130 kilometers east up the Wildcat River and 130 kilometers west down the Wildcat River in a total of 19.5 hours. To the nearest tenth of a kilometer per hour, what was the speed of the current river? Step 1, identify the important information. The answer will be the average speed of the current. The boat traveled for a total of 19.5 hours. The boat traveled east up the river 130 kilometers, and it traveled west 130 kilometers. The C represents the speed of the current in kilometers per hour. When the boat is going upstream, the speed of the current in kilometers is equal to its speed in still water minus C. When this boat is going downstream, the speed is equal to the speed in still water plus C. So distance upstream is 130. The average speed is 14 minus C. So the time is 130 divided by 14 minus C. Downstream is 130 kilometers. The speed is 14 plus C. So the time is 130 divided by 14 plus C. All right, so our equation is 130 divided by 14 minus C plus 130 divided by 14 plus C equals 19.5. All right, let's take a look at the next step. All right, solve the equation. So we have 130 divided by 14 minus C plus 130 divided by 14 plus C equals 19.5. All right, we're going to multiply everything by the common denominator, which is 14 minus C, 14 plus C. It's going to be a long expression, so we're going to start all the way at the end of the paper. So that becomes 130 times 14 minus C times 14 plus C divided by 14 minus C plus 130 times 14 minus C, 14 plus C divided by 14 plus C equals 19.5 times 14 minus C, 14 plus C. All right. Now, this divides and becomes 1. This divides and becomes 1. So we're left with 130 times 14 plus C plus 130 times 14 minus C equals 19.5 times, let's go ahead and FOIL that. 14 times 14 is 196. 14 times C is plus 14C minus 14C plus C squared. Okay, now 14 minus 14C cancels. Okay, so now let's distribute. So what's 130 times 14? Is 1820. So that's 1820 plus 130C plus 1820 minus 130C equals, now we need to multiply by 19.5. 19.5 times 196 is 3822. And then times plus 19.5 C squared. Now, 130C minus 130C cancels. 1820 plus 1820, I believe it's 3640, but let's double check. 1820 plus 1820 is 3640. So you get 3640 equals 380.22. Oh, almost. Again, mistakes can happen so easily, but you have to be careful. Negative C times C is actually minus C squared. Okay, so that becomes And that's something you're going to have to work on throughout the years, looking over your work and trying to make sure you don't make mistakes. But if you do catch a mistake and correct it through the problem, okay? All right, minus 19.5 c squared. We're going to subtract 3822 from both sides. So 3640 minus 3822 is negative 182 equals negative 19.5 c squared. We're going to divide both sides by negative 19.5. This divides and becomes 1. Is 9.3, which equals c squared. Take the square root of both sides. Now remember, that's plus or minus. That in essence rounds to 3, so plus or minus 3. So the solution c equals negative 3 does not make sense in context because the speed of the current cannot be negative. Therefore, the speed of the current is c equals 3 kilometers per hour. Okay, go ahead and finish up the example, start working on the assignment, and have a wonderful Wildcat day.